Let's go, family. Let's go. Hope you guys having a blessed and amazing Wednesday. You already know what time it is. It's your boy, Crazy Faith, the God in the building, getting ready to drop some quick value for you guys today. So today's topic is actually going to be focus on the assignment, right, to get to the promise, right? Focus on the assignment to get to the promise, right? How many of us are, distracted lately? Like, how many of us are distracted lately, right? Or how many of us are eliminating distractions, right? We got to be able to eliminate these distractions, because if we don't eliminate the distractions, then what happens is we get distracted, right? We get distracted, we get off course, and we miss and see what God is trying to do. We miss what God is trying to do. So we got to eliminate all distractions no matter what, right? And actually focus on the assignment that he gave you, right? And if you don't know what assignment he gave you, then you need to tap in. You need to tap into the master creator and figure out, what is your assignment? What is your gift, right? What have you been put on this earth to do, right? If you don't know that, you need to know that. You don't want to just go through life and just live an average, mediocre life, like, thinking you're going somewhere, and you're really not, right? We got to know what it is that we need to do, what we have been called to do, right? Because if we don't know what we've been called to do, then we're being led astray, right? We got to know what we've been called to do, right? And if you know what you've been called to do, that's amazing. Stay focused on the assignment, right, to get to the promise, right? And some of us, we will also want to be aware of strengthening our gifts, right? Are you working on your gifts daily to make them better, right? So that way, when it's time to perform, your gift is ready and set to go. Because there's going to be a time where your preparation is required, right? If your preparation is not where it needs to be, then you will fail when it's time to perform, right? That's why it's always good to be prepared in the waiting seasons, right? Being prepared, working on your craft, even when nothing is happening, right? Even when nothing is happening, we gotta still lock in. We still gotta prepare. We still gotta trust the process. Because when we don't trust the process and we just leave it like it is, right, and just go through the day and not do anything, we get nowhere and we feel like crap, right? We don't feel good about it, right? So we got to definitely tap into the assignment, right? We definitely got to stretch. We definitely got to grow. And the assignment is actually going to take you to the promise. The assignment is actually going to take you to the promise, right? And it's so cool that, God has given us gifts and things that we need to work on, right? And it's always good to tap into why he created you, right? That's been like a big question on my end. Like, I've been asking God, like, what have you been, what I've been created to do, right? And just been able to tap into that and to perfect it, right? To perfect the gift day in and day out. And we all have gifts, right? We all have gifts that lies within inside of us, but it's up to you and to find out what that gift is, right? We all got gifts. Like, God didn't just create us for no reason. Like, we all got beautiful gifts that lies within inside of us. But are you tapping into that? Are you asking God? Are you seeking God? Right? Are you seeking God to figure out what it is that he created you to be? Right? Because we're not just created just to live an average job, like average jobs, a 9 to 5. Like, nah, it's bigger than that. That's just a stepping stone, right? But he's created us to do bigger and better things, right? But we got to tap in, right? We got to go within. If your attention is always directed to the external world, you're gonna miss what God is trying to do in the internal world. You will miss the hidden riches. You will miss your gift, right? If your attention is always extracted to the external, you would miss your gift. You won't be able to see your gift, right? And that's so powerful because a lot of us are distracted. I was once distracted. My attention was always constantly to the external world, which had no value, which led me depleted, drained, frustrated, and just depressed, right? So I begin to turn within, and now I'm been able to understand who I am, found my gift, and now we just gotta, perfect it. I'm just perfecting it while I wait, right? Prep time. It's all about prep time, right? Because if it would be a shame to be ready for you to get that shot, that moment, and your gift is not where it needs to be, right? It'll be a shame, right, to actually get that opportunity, right? You jump on stage, whatever it is, sing, dance, whatever it is, and then you blew the opportunity because why? You wasn't prepping in the prep time, right? So it's like where preparation meets time. Time meets preparation, right? We always got to be prepping, even when we don't see anything happening, because at the end of the day, God is watching us, and we got to work on our gifts. Like, no matter how good you are, you can get better at your gift. No matter how good your gift is, you can always become better and better and better, right? It's God. God is not a limited God. God is not limited by nothing, right? It's always room for expansion. It's always room for growth in the kingdom, right? And I encourage you guys to dive deep. I know it's uncomfortable, and you may not know why you have been put here, but I'm telling you, it's something bigger. It's something bigger than you could ever imagine. And when you hone into it, right, and you find your gift, stay with it. But it's going to require a sacrifice. You're going to have to take your attention off the external. That's the biggest thing right there. You're going to have to take your focus off the external, like how we've been living. I was once that person, right? And do the switch. This is the switch. This is that switch part where you go from the external to the internal world. Excuse me. From the internal world, right? The internal world is way more powerful than the external. Why? Because God is the internal world. God is the spiritual world, right? He's blessed us with the internal spiritual world, and we got to tap into that. Once we tap into that, right, we begin to find our gifts. We begin to find peace, joy, love, abundance, all of these things that lies within inside of us that you can never get from the external world, right? And that's a fact. That's a big fact, right? And once you focus on the assignment, you're actually getting closer to the promise, right? It's not about the destination. It's about the journey towards the destination, right? It's about the journey towards the destination. That's what it's all about, right? I used to be that person like, oh yeah, let's just go to the destination, right? Let's just go to the destination. And I was missing the journey. I was missing the development, the working on my gift, the working on my character. Because I know if I work on myself, when I get to the destination, I'm going to enjoy myself a lot, way more better than I would have if I just focus on the destination, right? And then you get to the destination, and then you got a lot of stuff that you got to work through, right? You got a lot of stuff that you got to work through, and you don't even like yourself because why? You didn't work on yourself through the journey. So it's better to work on yourself through the journey, so that way when you arrive to the promise, right, you can enjoy yourself a lot, way more better with peace, joy, fulfillment. You worked on your flaws, right? You're getting better, and you're just a better version of yourself, which would allow you to enjoy the fruits of your labor that God has blessed you with, right? That God has blessed you with. But if you just worried about, oh, let me just get to the journey, let me just get let me just get to the destination. You're missing it. You're missing the whole thing, right? You're missing the whole thing. And then when you arrive, all right, maybe you arrive, but you're not really fully happy. You're not really fully fulfilled. Why? Because you didn't get a chance to work on the little things that God was trying to work on, right? And I'm glad God showed me that I have to work on some things before I get to the promise. And I want to work on those things. Why? Because it would be a shame to be the same person and arrive to my promised land and I'm still the same person and I can't even enjoy the fruits of my labor because I'm still in that mindset. And that mindset could actually bring you back. You could actually lose everything if you don't fix your mindset, right? You can actually lose everything if you don't fix your mindset, right? That's so powerful because I had 100,000, right? I had a chance, right? I had $100,000, right? And it's so crazy because I blew that all, right? I blew that 100,000. Why? Why did I blow it? Because I didn't have the right mindset. I didn't have the right mindset to flip that 100,000, right? I was just operating out of what I knew. I was just operating out of what I knew. And if you don't have the right mindset, you will quickly lose everything. If you don't have the right mindset to become better, to know what to do with money or even the wealth, you will lose it all. It's all through the mindset, right? It's all through the mindset. If you don't have the right mindset, if you don't have the willingness to work through your problems, to understand what's going on in your mind, you will lose everything that God is trying to do in your life, right? We have to have the right mindsets, right? In order to obtain the wealth, to keep the abundance, right? To stay fulfilled, right? We got to have that mindset, right? And God is like, showing me like, I got to work on my mindset in order to be fulfilled, in order to keep what he's about to give me, right? Without that mindset, I lose everything, right? So I'm going to leave you guys with this, right? I'm going to leave you guys with this. If you guys don't focus on the assignment to get to the promise, when the opportunity comes, it's going to be hard for you to actually succeed, right? You might blow your shot, and it will be a shame to wait all this time, get the opportunity, and blow the shot because why? You didn't prepare. So it's time to lock in. And if you don't know your gift, ask God, who are you created to be? And let's dive deep into that. Just want to take a few minutes to pray over you guys. I ask that God could show you who you guys are. Dive deep into who you are, show you, right? And I ask God to help you take your vision, take your sight from the external and focus it on the internal world, so that way you can get and receive everything that God has for you, right? In Jesus' name, thank you, God is done. And you already know I'm gone. It's your boy Crazy Faith to God. Happy Wednesday once again. Let's get it. Let's become 1% get it better. Let's go.